Welcome to UCL's Intellectual Disability Stigma channel, a video by UCL featuring narration by Katrina Seor, Director of the UCL Unit for Stigma Research, or short UCLUS, and Lester McGugan, who has illustrated this video. Intellectual disability, or learning disability as we more commonly say in the UK, is a term we use when a person has significant limitations in their intellectual and social functioning, including areas such as communication, social and self-care skills. These difficulties can cause a child to develop and learn more slowly or differently compared to a typically developing child. An intellectual disability starts during childhood. Often, but not always, this will be before or around the time of birth, although an intellectual disability may not be recognized until the teenage years or well into adulthood. Intellectual disability is the most common developmental disability. Approximately 2% of the global population have an intellectual disability. This is as many as 150 million people around the globe. Stigma means negative attitudes and all that goes with them, such as negative stereotypes, prejudice, and discrimination. Stigma is a process whereby a human characteristic or attribute, such as intellectual disability, is given a label. Stigma occurs when that label is then viewed negatively and generalizations about it are made. We call these stereotypes, such as people with intellectual disabilities always need looking after, or people with intellectual disabilities cannot work. And finally, these generalizations are used to justify discrimination against people with that label. In many parts of the world, people with intellectual disabilities are excluded from mainstream education and society. In many places, they still live in institutional environments and have few rights and freedoms. In other places, they live with their families or in their own homes, but often lack choice over their own lives. 9 out of 10 children and adults with intellectual disabilities in the UK say they have been the target of bullying. Almost 5 in 10 report having experienced verbal abuse, and 1 in 4 physical violence. Not only are persons with intellectual disabilities often the easy targets of verbal and physical harassment and abuse, but in some cases they are the victims of horrific hate crimes, often for no reason other than appearing different and being less able to defend themselves. There are many initiatives around the world aimed at raising awareness of disability and challenging disableism, but few focus specifically on intellectual disability. Widely held stereotypes of persons with intellectual disabilities as dependent and childlike lead to lack of choice, lack of respect, and equal rights. The presumption of incompetence often leads to the denial of opportunities others take for granted. These in turn result in a lack of aspirational role models. As they say, you cannot be what you cannot see. And generally, people with intellectual disabilities are often excluded from their local communities and have little visibility in the media and society at large. As such, intellectual disability stigma sets a context in which abuse and hate crimes can flourish, where individuals often experience low self-esteem and emotional and psychological problems. Their families may also be affected. Many parents say they miss out on social occasions, either because they are not invited or because they find others' stares and disapproval too difficult to have to deal with. Some internalize negative attitudes within society and very unjustly may feel that they are somehow responsible or to blame. In some cases, family members can become isolated as a result. Many experience poorer physical and mental health due to the combination of their additional responsibilities, lack of adequate support, and negative attitudes surrounding them. In many countries around the world, people with intellectual disabilities are seen entirely as their family's responsibility, with no or little informal or formal support provided. Using social media and public platforms can be a way to share ideas, report on diverse initiatives, promote change, and give a voice to people who are often silenced. Videos and blogs are a free, accessible source where everyone around the world can share initiatives, ideas, personal accounts, and research. We want to provide a space where interesting initiatives from around the world can be featured, discussions can happen, ideas exchange, and people can join up to discuss intellectual disability stigma and research that is relevant to it. Firstly, by blogging. Secondly, you can contribute through YouTube. Finally, by following us on Twitter at IDStigmaUCL. Thank you for watching our video. Don't forget to share, like, comment, and subscribe.